love your wife all your life. That translates to date nights, right? Just make sure that the romance is still alive.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still the woman that I've chosen more than 32 years ago, right? And I say, yeah, she's still the one, just in different seasons of life.
What is one thing every day that you felt you can do something great for your spouse? Purposely go for a holiday together. Instead of going for just dinner, we are now going for maybe for a picnic. Do something that both of us can enjoy. When the relationship goes stale, is because you're not proactively looking for things to do together anymore.
Welcome to We Love Love Kiss. Today, we have special treat because we have couples that have been married for 32 years. And not only that, they're happily married. They are also the parents of one of our bride. So David and Gloria have journeyed through seasons of career transition, raising 2 daughters, and also navigating special needs children, serving faithfully in church and community. So this is really meaningful for us. We want to learn so much from you, David and Gloria. David is a former CFO turned founder of IBGA. It is a children enrichment that use board game as a tool. He's also certified marriage counselor and coach. Welcome, David, here. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thanks for having us.
And Gloria is founder of Royal Consulting International. She's also a business and sales coach. Royal Consulting is a business and sales consulting firm. And Gloria is also my business coach. So I'm so elated that you're here sharing your tips with us.
Oh.
Gloria and David is a marriage counselor and also pastoral care ministry. So welcome, David and Gloria.
Thank you so
Thanks
much,
again.
Helen. Yeah.
So
I'm glad to be
maybe
here.
let's start with today. How would you describe the season of your marriage at this current life, this current point of life?
So as you have correctly mentioned, we have just celebrated 3 decades of marriage.
Oh wow, 3 decades.
Yeah, in 2024.
You guys
Now
look so young.
we try to remain energetic, through our fitness routine. So I would describe our current season as a season of contentment and growth. Because we find that right now we are more settled with our child being married, which we'll emphasize a little bit more later on. But we do have a lot of time in our hands now.
Okay, because both of you are empty nester.
True. Yeah, and then it's 32 years, 32 years in marriage. No joke, it's a long journey.
Yeah.
Ups and downs, and we need to really face the reality of life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe it takes us to the beginning, right? How does it start? How did it start, and what makes both of you come together?
I think for my case is I actually crashed into his party. I was invited by a friend who went into his house one day, and when he was celebrating his CPA and also his
Passing my final exam.
passing his final exam, he was already working, So
Okay.
and I crashed into his party, and that's how we met. And then moving forward, of course,
Do you know him before?
no,
No.
No,
never
we
knew
were in
him
the
before.
same gym. So we
Okay.
have a mutual friend who works there.
Yeah.
And I was a part-time instructor at that time, but we never met in the gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a good time that we got to know each other. Like I always love meeting people. And the next thing I knew was he called me out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And both of you are Malaysian, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Which part of Malaysia?
I'm from Sabah, KK.
I'm from Petaling Jaya.
Okay. So which
So-
how do you? I mean, which
We met in
area
PJ.
you met in
because I
PJ?
moved to Petaling Jaya when I was 17.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's right.
So some people says that they believe in finding the one. Is there any point of your relationship that you feel like this is the one?
For me, I knew he was the one because my mom often told me that, when you want to find a man, you need to find a man who is responsible and then educated. Meaning this person is very passionate about his job. Though he was young, David was young, but I could see that he's very passionate about his job. And also this person must love me more.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's very important. Okay, love me more.
I understand. My mom also says the same
Yeah,
thing.
that's right. And then and another very important criteria is that I need this person to have very strong willpower and also a good decision maker. because I'm one.
Okay.
You know, so I cannot live with another person who can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, David?
All of us have a certain criteria of what we want in a, life partner. So I was no different. When I met, I mean, I've got other girlfriends as well at that time, but I wasn't committed to any one of them because I was still searching for, like I mentioned, the one. But I've come to the conclusion that we can never find the perfect life partner because we are all imperfect human beings, right? So when I met Gloria, she was really someone special because she's open and she's honest and she's teachable. And like she mentioned just now, she loves people, and that actually shines through her personality as well. And I felt that I can really click with her because she's not only a good conversationalist, but she also listens. So I find that there's someone who is able to understand people, understand me, and all of us have got issues, right?
Yeah.
And that is how I feel that she's the one. Of course not immediately,
Yeah.
but of course we dated, and I was just making decisions along the way,
Okay.
and eventually, I settled for Gloria.
For Gloria. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
For my case, I was very playful. You know, I was very playful and I'm not so educated. So I felt that he, being a very knowledgeable man, would be able to help me.
Yes, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, and we are both, one similar trait, we both love to learn.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. So
that
it's
is very-
comparable. So when we
yeah.
learn things, well, you know, I never used to, I started
Yeah.
off not loving reading. So,
Yeah.
but David reads and then summarize the books
Okay.
and I learned through that summary.
Oh wow! So you help her
Yeah.
to gain knowledge and more. So in the
at that
early
time,
years, yeah.
At that time, we did not have AI, so
Ah,
I was her
Yeah,
AI.
yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah, couple that grow together, stay together.
Yes, yes.
So during the early years of marriage, what kind of adjustment that both of you have to make? Because I think both of you have a very strong personality, right? What kind of adjustment in the early years of marriage?
I think early years, I was very young. So when I met David, I was only 19. So I engaged to him when I was 20, married to him when I was 22. So being young, but because I'm also eldest in the family, so I started my responsibility since really at a young age, right? We both are decision makers. So the only thing is that we must come to terms what kind of decisions I should make and what kind of decision he should make, because we have got different understanding of life. So we often fight with things that is so minute and not important that make it very difficult for us to live together sometimes. Okay, those we're talking about the early years of our life, right? And we are so young, we are emotional, you know. We because we always often felt like we are right. Who doesn't, right? So we always felt that we are right. So the first thing first that came together was we need to identify someone who can help us. Then we actually had a counselor.
Okay, so you have
Yeah.
a counselor from the early
Yes.
part of your
yes.
marriage.
So
Okay.
at the stage of, I think, before we got married, when I was 21.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
we had an early
that's good.
counselor, the pre-marital counselor, then lead to the counseling. So pre-marital counselor will help us to address all our issues in our want, you know, like our issues relating to money, our persona, our career.
Okay, that's
you
good. So
know.
you already
Yes.
have this conversation even before you
Yeah.
get married, which is
No. Yes.
which is highlight the importance of pre-marriage counseling or
Yes.
pre-marriage learning, right?
Yeah.
So during the part where you actually go through life, I mean, you have a special need kids. Is there any what are the most defining challenges throughout the whole seasons of life?
I think the challenges comes even before we got married. That is important because I think for listeners, right, who are actually preparing for marriage, we spend a lot of money on our wedding day, but we didn't invest enough for our marriage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for a lasting marriage, right, really, you need to not just be a learner about our career, but I think very important is actually learning about how to build a good marriage and home.
Yeah, so I think having good and wise counselors really help because marriage is not something that is taught in school, and we get advice from our elders and people who are further along down the road in piecemeal. So we wanted a more structured way so that we really want to study and learn about how to handle conflicts and how to make the marriage not only work but also one that is rewarding, right?
Yes.
Not only for ourselves but also for one another.
Okay.
So I think the council really help us to start off on the right footing,
Okay.
which today, as we look back after 32 years, right, is what every couple actually need, to
Oh, okay.
hear from people who are further down
Yeah.
the road.
Okay. So
Yeah.
is there any point that in your marriage that you actually use what you have learned before and you apply it?
All of it. Actually, all of it.
Like any moment, like maybe share
Yeah.
with us if you don't mind.
Number one thing is money.
Okay. That's the
That is the biggest one.
Oh, yeah, that's
the
a big
biggest
topic.
issue. Yeah,
Yes,
because
yes.
I'm a spender, he's a saver. So a big clash.
Okay, how do you navigate that? Because that's in couples usually they are different in one another, right? Like one is spender, one is saver. So how do you navigate the
Yeah,
challenges?
so I would say that myself being a trained finance person, right? I've got this concept called budgeting. So I had to actually explain the concept to Gloria because rewinding back, right? We have very different personalities. Where I'm more of a planner, and I find that Gloria is more of a very carefree person. So I had to
Yeah.
educate her, right? If you want to
Yeah.
be carefree, if you plan it properly, you can be carefree with within the budget that's been given to you, and you can actually spend without guilt,
Yeah.
knowing that other portions of our finances has already
Yeah.
been taken care of.
Yeah.
So it's an education process. So at the end of it, we just ensure that we respect what we have
Okay, very
planned.
important questions because sometimes it's very hard to accept tips or learning from the closest person. How do you educate her without her being defensive? Is there any trick or is this for you? Maybe when David say, please don't spend too much, do you get offended or how do you accept it?
Because I know my weaknesses and we are
Okay.
both learners, yeah.
Okay.
So it's for the betterment of the family. So I realize that I need to change. Okay, so even at young age, we have always been in a leadership position. I was also in sales leadership. We were also leading in church as well. So because of that, even at that young age, I know the importance of open for learning.
Okay, good.
Okay, and I have to admit, so we do fight. After a while, I'll still come back and say, okay, how are we going to move forward?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then he'll
That's
say that I'm
important,
going to
no?
give you budget. This is the amount you're going to spend only for the month. Then I need to figure out how to spend that money for the month. Don't go beyond that, So all the funds that I have, I actually let him handle. And I know that I cannot manage money for investment, so I've decided to let him manage it. He's a
Okay.
better person. Not that I ignore it. I still learn. I learn about finance. I still learn about investment. Just that he manages it.
So I hear you. So first we need to have an open mind that we need to learn something. That's something that maybe we have lacked. Yeah, understanding that maybe we have lacked, then we can learn better. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we actually leverage on each other's strengths. So
Yeah.
eventually, Gloria did learn about finance and budgeting, and that's how she becomes a business coach.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So, is there any point or any events that is really defined like that particular season that tested your marriage the most? Then how do you
Yes.
handle that?
Yeah, for my case would be the birth of my second daughter. So the eldest daughter were born about 1.5 years difference from my second daughter. And after the birth of my first daughter, I went into tertiary education. So I took night classes for studies, okay, at night. And during that time, I had a daytime job, which is
Very
as a
busy.
sales manager. So as a sales manager, I also have got sales target to meet, all right? But at night, I'm studying and then I need to look after the older one and I was pregnant. Okay, so and unplanned pregnant. So during that period of moment, I felt that it was like, almost giving up every day of my life. And I have to deal with parents-in-law. And then we have to also deal with each other, our differences, So because having kids actually changes the entire couple's dynamic. Yeah, so there were a lot of adjustment need to be done. I think the hardest part, it's not even when I was pregnant with the child. It's actually the birth of my second daughter, and she was found to be special need.
Oh,
The
yeah.
disability changes even another level of dynamic. While I still have my classes, that I've got my job and I've got my elders to look
Oh,
after,
it's
dealing with
so
my day
hard.
to day. Yeah, it was really very hard. I almost, it was at the breaking point. I'm hanging on to everything that I could,
Okay.
but at the end of it, I still have to surrender it to
Yeah.
God.
So
Yeah.
how
Yeah,
how are you feeling during that period?
That period is actually extremely challenging for a
Yeah.
young couple.
Yes.
Because we had always planned without that contingency of
Yeah.
having a a special need child.
Yeah.
So both of us were very ambitious at that time. So as you can hear from Gloria, she's doing 101 things just like she's doing now, but she's the Wonder Woman, right? So she
Wonder
can
Woman.
really take it. And as for myself, I was actually climbing the corporate ladder, and what Gloria had not mentioned was that while I was in one of the MNCs, that MNC actually closed down. So it was we were just being challenged in all areas because at that time we also put down a down payment. We committed to a new house.
A
I
new
lost my
car.
job.
A new
Wow.
car.
And you can imagine that
Yes.
was a huge challenge for us. And we had to put everything that we have learned about marriage, about communication, about problem resolution. And even when we conflict, we have to fight fair. There are so many things. But then what have actually made a difference is that we prayed through this, and with the help of the very loving church community who has supported us. And of course, parents who are very understanding as well. And we actually have more sessions with our counselors.
Okay.
And that eventually pulled us through.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't deal with it alone, because
Okay. Yes.
I am probably doing it because I was able to handle it, but not everyone can do the same. So, but nonetheless, at the end of it, because of my own pride, right, I always felt that I can handle it, but actually, why not get help?
Yes.
Don't
Definitely.
be embarrassed. Don't feel bad. But getting help doesn't mean that throw everything to the person who help us. We also need to deal with it one thing at a time, and every hour at a time, really, because there's so many things that come into play, right? And it can affect our emotions so drastically. So take care of yourself first. Like my case, I really take care of myself first. If I have to go for a long walk, I go for a long walk, because the amount of stress that actually I was hanging on was really big.
Yes.
So I
can
need to
imagine.
really
Cannot
take care of
imagine.
myself. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we need help. We need prayers. We need support. We need a community, a village to support.
How young were you when during that period? Were you in the 30s?
No,
At the
29.
time,
I was 29.
she was 29. I was in my
29.
early 30s.
Oh, that is really challenging, right? Later
Yeah.
30s.
Yeah, that's right.
But you managed to pull through because of the community support and also parents that helps you through. And of course, your faith. I
Yeah.
believe your faith
Yeah.
also tied through.
Yes.
To rely on God are miracles. That
Yes.
is really true. God
Yes.
is miracles.
Because we believe in miracles, and also I would say that we are go-getters, we are optimists. We always believe that there's a light at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah.
and that it will not last for too long.
This too shall pass, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I wish shall pass, but having a special need is
Yes.
harder. It's a
Yes.
lifetime.
Oh, yeah. It's, yes.
It's until today.
Means
yeah.
you're actually equipped to be a parent of special needs.
Yeah,
kids.
yeah, that's right.
God give you grace.
Yes, God has given me
Yes.
grace.
Yes.
Yes.
So, as marriage mentor yourself and counselor, how do you advise couples, right, or when they are having this argument, or when their flesh or maybe their ego rise up? Like, how do you fight fair? Maybe.
It's quite normal that we fight, even in business partnership, friendship, must accept the fact that we are all have our own agenda. Okay, and then so in a couple's relationship, dealing with enormous amount of challenges, we need to write it down, really planning visually. If talk right, it will hurt. So the best way is to sit down together with someone and write down all your challenges, then deal one by one. That is the best way, because words can really slice your heart.
Yeah. So how about you?
Yeah, so I think it's about fighting fair. So we have, like Gloria said, a certain framework, and we never forget as Christians that God is in the center of our marriage. So we got to take that into consideration. Sometimes when we can't agree about he said, she said, right? Then we say, what does God say about this? And
Okay.
that is where we can find agreement. It's not easy, not all the time. We still need to trash things out, but we do it fairly and make sure that there's no under the belt. If we fight fair.
Okay. So having a third perspective, not just the two of you dealing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good to have a counselor and to deal with this together.
Okay.
Yeah, don't take it in such a way like a defeated relationship.
Okay, so you recently become an empty nester because your daughter marrying off your daughter. What emotions surface you as the parents when this period of time? Like maybe you can share with us. we might not get there yet, but how do you navigate especially maybe David.
Yeah, I will say that I took it harder than
Oh,
Gloria.
yeah.
Yeah, that's because one thing is very hard to let go when you have cultivated a relationship that's so close. You know, we practice what we preach, right? We
Mm,
build a loving home, and therefore it's quite hard to let go.
mm,
But I'm comforted by the fact that Sherilyn, my daughter, now has her own family unit. So
mm,
we are happy for her, and we are fully supportive of her in every way that we can as parents. Yeah,
mm,
so that's how I kind of deal with it. And the other thing is, as an empty nester, now we got more time for one another,
mm,
and we actually use all of our life learnings, right? Like
mm,
the ones which you have just mentioned, to also help others. So by
mm.
focusing on others,
Yeah.
even in my IBJ, I'm actually helping children. We have learned lessons in life which are practical, which we can pass on to others. So when we focus on others, it makes it a lot easier to deal with emptiness, because it's not really empty with so many people that we
Yes.
can nurture.
Yeah, actually you grow closer, yes. Maybe some empty nester they grow apart, but this it's better. I mean, of course, better to grow together, grow closer together.
Well, I mean, empty nester also means that we both of us see each other a lot, so we
Mm.
will fight as well. So there is no season of how do I say? We will fight from the beginning, midway with our kids, and then now if the empty nester, we will still fight a lot, So expect that to happen, but what kind of fight? Do we still fight the same thing that we did, 10 years ago? No, we don't. We need to outgrow that. So now the new things that we have is actually living together with different mindset again, because we came with experience now.
Yeah.
Okay, so but we can be reasoned. Just like if you reason with your business partner and your colleagues, why can't you reason with each other? But because of pride, so we need to put the pride aside. Again, we must sit down and really talk through, what is possible from the both sides. What I'm willing to give up, what he's willing to give up, what are we willing to compromise, and then pray.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good advice.
Yeah.
So a lot of marriage like go through decades of a relationship and then they go stale. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
companionship, like a roommate, or it just become familiar. How do you maintain the marriage to be still passionate, still loving? Is there any habit or is there any practice that both of you share or have?
I think accepting each other's bad habits, that knowing, anticipate what's going to happen because you know the person so well, but also giving the other person room to do what they want. You must allow that person to do what they want. The reason why one person become quiet is because it's tired of telling, maybe it becomes nagging. But it's not about that, If you need to change, you change. But like David gives me a lot of freedom to be who I am. Similarly, I gave him a lot of freedom to be who he is. He
Yeah.
can do his things. He can go for his
Okay.
cosplay if he want to. I can still party if I want to with my friends. I can still travel with my friends as well. So we have our
Okay.
own interests. It is because of controlling each other, you don't let each other enjoy their life, that they become stale in their relationship because of pleasing each other.
Okay.
It's not just pleasing, it's about just being quiet.
Yeah, there is a thin boundaries between like living your own separate life and then when you come together. Is there a point like actually, or maybe habit that you come together and then talk it out or have maybe date night? What's your practice for
Yeah,
that?
that's something which I had wanted to mention.
Yeah.
And it ties in with my very early learning, right, in my marriage. So I want to quote two persons who have actually helped me. One is Billy Graham, the late Billy Graham, right,
Yeah.
who actually said, love your wife all your life.
Oh.
Yeah, so that translates to date nights, right? And I just make sure that the romance is still alive.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still the woman that I've chosen more than 32 years ago, right? And I say, yeah, she's still the one, and just in different seasons of life. So that advice I've heeded, okay, as a foundation of how you can actually ensure that a marriage don't go stale. Now, the other person whom have given a very profound quote to me, I mean, as Christian, we believe that we have eternal life and we live for eternity, and there will be a day when we'll be getting a judgment for our lives, right? I mean, not on the bad things that we do, but for the rewards that we'll be getting. So this quote was given by Francis Chan, who has a very happy marriage, and he said that he gave me a different perspective. So you don't love your wife just for this life, but for the next million years.
Oh,
He actually
wow.
said that. So what vision do you have for your wife? And how do you help her to get a well done from Christ? Yeah, so
Okay.
that totally changed my perspective. So the wife is someone whom you actually nurture, and you want her to be her very best self when she's presented to the one who will reward her.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so that have guided me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that part is really beautiful, but I like to also share that though biblically we are supposed to be respectful of our husband, right? But there are times when, the society has taught us to be empowered women. But you must not draw the line that in the family, the man is still the man of the house. When there is because that is what God has ordained men to do, to be the man of the house. So even though during the time when I felt that I'm more overpowering, I need to learn how to become submissive as well. Not
Okay.
submissive to be stepped down by someone, but it is submissive to really respect and honor his decision making in a household.
Yeah.
I think that is very important because nowadays there is no boundaries,
Yeah.
in women empowerment.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So there's a lot of case that the women actually become more powerful, and then there's no longer balance, right?
Yeah. There's
So
no
is
longer
is there
balance.
any struggle between
A lot. You're both very strong
yes?
personality. Yes.
How do you balance that?
So let me
Um.
give you my perspective, right? So it's not easy. So it's like a chicken and egg situation, because I try to understand women as well, right? Because and I look at the perspective, say, yeah, I will submit to you if you love me. So you have to be the first to give. So I think I want to make her job easier. When you talk about submission, it's not she doesn't become a doormat, right? So her submission is to ensure that there's unity when we move forward with our plans. So by taking her interest and putting in priority, makes it so easy for her to submit and come and go along
Yeah.
with the plan. And similarly, it works vice versa, the other way round.
Yeah.
I will love you and lead you, make it easy for me as well by being supportive and so-called submissive, right? But submissive doesn't mean you're weak. In fact, you're very, very strong, and I view her
Yeah.
as a very able helper that God has given to me.
Okay. So I
There's
thi-
one tip I like to give to everyone, whether it is a husband or a wife, right? It's what is one thing every day that you felt you can do something great for your spouse?
Oh, wow.
And then date every week. All right, find time to date, because the other times where my schedule is like from 8 a.m. until midnight, you can't even see me, So, the date night is precious.
Okay.
Guard it is very sacred. And then your bed, no kids should be in your bed.
Oh, wow.
No baby should be in your bed, because the bed is sacred to only the two of you.
Wow, then I'm guilty with that
Yeah.
because my boy like to sleep in my bed.
Yeah, no, children will be in their own room or in their own bed. Cannot be even in the same room. Let's say you can't afford a big place. Your children is in your own room. It's fine, but they must be in separate bed. Your bed is sacred only for the both of you. Yeah, so that is when it's our time when we pray together. We after fighting we still pray together. That okay, so we cannot finish because we need to sleep. Tomorrow we have got the work to do. Okay, we will find another appointment to actually set up to deal with that issue that we haven't sorted out yet. Sometimes for one whole year we cannot solve that issue. So we need to eventually deal with that. So at the end of it, we are talking about really learn how to communicate, loving each other, okay, and then respectful of each other. So one area that you think of you can give to your spouse, what would that be? You are living together already. So why must it be making it hard for each other? Why are you so spiteful? We are human nature, so that is what we think of all the time.
Okay. That kind of principle, do you talk about it with both of you when you start the marriage itself? Like maybe no kids on the bed. So do you guys
Yeah,
compromise with
that
that?
was a very, very beginning stage of our
Oh,
life.
how do
yes.
you come about
Our
that?
counselor taught us that.
Oh, your counselor thought that. Oh, yeah. What's the maybe you can tell the audience like what's the reasoning behind it actually?
Because both of us are one. Okay, our child is an extension of us. Having a child in the middle, right? Sometimes the husband will be so felt like he felt neglected. Okay, so we need to love each other because we are both are one. Consider
Okay.
that in God's eyes, once you're married, you're one.
Okay.
Even though we've got two different personality. So having a child in the middle, right, is always the preference of the wife. So I agree, because even I felt that breastfeeding, I'd rather have my baby here in the center. So no, we learn after breastfeeding, put back into the crib, never in the center of our bed.
Okay.
Because nothing should separate the both of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understand.
The bed is sacred only for the both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's something that maybe I haven't heard about. And because when in marriage, right, when the kids come along, usually then the kids become so-called more important than the relationships. Do you think that probably the case of where relationship gets stale or marriage?
There's a
become-
priority that the woman normally put first to the child before the husband. But you see, God's commandment is actually the husband first before the child. I am guilty of that too, because I have to look after a special need. Okay, so definitely have got my attention is on my children, and also my elder daughter at that time. So what happened is that automatically I will be too exhausted and too, going for a date is an exhausting experience. But you need to make sure that we need to guard that relationship so that
Okay.
it doesn't get stolen away by our own children.
Okay.
Yeah, just to clarify for our listeners, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that we cannot have the child come onto our bed and play, and bond with us. What Gloria actually meant is that before we sleep, the child should not be asleep on our bed, in our bed together with us. So we spend a lot of time with our
Pillow talk.
children on the bed, bonding with them. But eventually, when we are tired, when we need to sleep, right, the child has to be off the bed and in the crib.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
learning something now.
Yeah.
Wow. Looking at where you are right now, right? What do you think the one thing that built this marriage or this bondage like so strong that you're still passionate with each other?
For me, it's forgiveness.
Yeah, we don't want to be too idealistic to the listeners,
Okay.
right? We do have our fair share of problem, but it's the willingness to work at it. And once the issue, we find closure, we try not to bring it up.
Bring
And
it
if
up.
we ever bring it up, it's always in a very positive way, the learnings that we can take away from it. But
Okay.
never to bring it up just to hurt each
Spite
other.
each other.
Spite each other. Okay. For you, it's forgiveness, Gloria.
Yeah, forgiveness
And
very
for you
important.
is not to bring it up all the old wounds.
Yeah, because that doesn't help the marriage.
Marriage, yes.
Yeah.
So after 32 years, I'm sure there's a lot of like things that you have fight for and fight about, and so forgiveness.
Also find new things. Find new
new
things to
things.
do. It's a proactive relationship building. When the relationship goes stale, is because you're not proactively looking for things to do together anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're
Wow.
fed up with each other. Yeah, no, don't have that kind of attitude. So I believe that we are not saints. So I also have this kind of character attitude, right? So I will pray against that. I will pray that God give me a chance to be able to do something great together with Him. Yeah, purposely go for a holiday together. We, instead of going for elaborated just dinner, we are now going for maybe for a picnic, or we can just go to do something that both of us can enjoy, even though not yet enjoyable.
Okay.
Find new things. Yeah.
Wow, that's so good. Thank you so much, Gloria and David. We learned so much. I mean, I personally learned so much. I didn't know about some other things that you guys mentioned, which is I think good because we actually don't know. Like this is the importance of having pre-marriage counselor to learn from someone that has been going before us, right? And then learn. So yeah, I think I can see that the pre-marriage counseling really bear
Help.
fruits.
Yeah,
It does
that's
have a
right.
lot of value. And what we have learned is that we actually are able to internalize the lessons better when we teach, right? So from the very onset, we have embraced the principle that in order for us to become better student, we learn with the intention to teach. Then you actually learn the lessons better
Okay.
and then teach it.
Okay.
And when you teach it, you actually have
Yeah.
to also live it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for listener, David and Gloria is also our marriage mentors. We have pre-marriage course, together with Alpha and Gloria and David serving there. So I think this really a gift for the next generation.
Yeah.
Right, the gift for the next generation. Your knowledge, and then you have made it so far, went through so much trouble, so much problem, and then it's for equipping the next generation.
That's right.
Yeah, and before I
Thank you.
forget, right? Before I forget, I would also attribute it to our parents because
Okay.
our parents are very good models, right? They have
Mm.
been married even longer than us.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow,
yeah, that's
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, because I went to
Mm,
Sherilyn's wedding.
mm.
I'm so amazed as a guest, right? I can see that generations of blessings, generations of prayers, and generations of like good marriage. Even the grandfather, I think
Yeah.
one
My-
of
Our
the
parents,
my
both our
parents-
parents are still living.
yeah, still
that's right.
living, and then praying for them. Maybe do you think really parents have
have
effect on
impact
you?
on us? I would say there is. I cannot say there is none. How prominent? How is? I'm not sure how they affect us, but in my logical thinking, I would say that it is because they stay together. I saw how they also fight until today. So we have to expect that we will always be different.
Mm.
Okay, there will never be a time where we're gonna ever be the same.
Mm.
Until death do us part. It will always be differences. So when you accept the differences and then learn how to end your day lovingly,
Mm.
say something sweet to each other. Start something nice in the morning. Don't
Mm.
say something cruel, in the morning.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
that is a very good essence for each other.
Okay.
And then every day is a new day.
Yeah.
Do not hold your grudges out of yesterday to the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
I would say, just to build on Gloria's point, right, and to answer your question, it does help, and it has a very profound and significant impact, because we believe that because our parents have role model for us, we also want to role model for the next generation. And we also know that through research, right, children that have divorced parents will have a higher chance of having a bad relationship themselves. So we are very cognizant of that, and we make sure that our marriage models for the next
Yeah.
generation.
But for children who has a divorced parent, there will still hope for them, right?
Yes, of course.
Of
We
course.
always believe of this thing called being the transition person. So there is a great hope for them. So we can always put a stop to anything that's generational, that's passed down to us, because every day is a new day. It's a
Okay.
new beginning. So
Yeah.
for them who maybe if the parents were not very good role models, that's where
Yes.
premarital counseling comes in. They can look to
Yeah.
others of being good models.
Actually, a lot of people, including, I would say maybe me including, we don't have a good role model as a marriage role model. Our parents, as Asian parents, maybe they don't really say they love you, they don't express emotions, and that carry on into our marriage right now, right? So having a pre-marriage, learning how to build a good marriage is important. Also be intentional. Like I summarize from what I hear, being intentional.
Yeah, being intentional.
I think both of you are very intentional of wanting to cultivate the marriage itself, even after 32 years, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So I think touching on that point, right, communication is so important. Being Asian, sometimes a lot of things were left unsaid, and therefore the expectations were not set right. So when there's a conflict there, then that's when the trouble begins. And
Yes.
we bottle it up, and then eventually you'll blow up, right? And then
Okay.
it causes a lot of problems. So for us, we bring it out, we talk through it. Nothing can be resolved immediately, right? Especially the major issues. But over time, we are very intentional of resolving it. And because we love one another, because we have got a common faith, we hold on to common values, we want to see a resolution.
Yes.
And that is what marriage is about, right? I mean,
Yes.
in the very first place, we have chosen not to be single, we chosen a life partner. And of course, we'll work at it.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow, so beautiful. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, David and Gloria, for all the learning lessons for 32 years of happy marriage, and you really, really pass it down to your children. I can see that both of them also love one another. So
Yeah.
that's the end of our session. Thank you so much. Any last word for the audience, maybe?
I would like to add on one more thing, which was bothering inside my head, is that living with in-laws, taking care of each other's
There's
parents.
so many things, right?
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
many things. So that one also can be a great trigger to your marriage, but do not allow that to happen. So it's best that my other tips is actually treating your mother-in-law same as your mother.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That will be another topic by itself,
Yes,
I
it's
think.
another topic by itself. That's right. So
Yes.
that is another one. But stay loving to each other. They were bound to have a lot of issues that you don't like
Yes.
about each other,
Yeah.
which is normal. And
Yeah.
you are not different.
for us, right, all the women, the go-getter women, we always think about the career or think of empowering ourselves. But when it comes to a relationship, this is also, I'm guilty of that. I don't want to learn about relationship, like personal development, all the communication skill, but not for marriage. So I think having both of you here really remind us that it's not only for yourself, but for the marriage itself, for the benefit of our children. Thank you
It's
so
for
much.
yourself
Yeah.
too.
Yes, yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So that is the episode of We Love Love Kiss. Then we have the privilege to learn from the experience of 32 years of marriage and still passionate. You can see so passionate both of you, like still loving one another. You guys like our role model. So
Thanks, Helen, for having us.
Yeah,
Yes.
really appreciate this for this opportunity.
yeah, thank you so much. So we'll see you in another episode of We Love Love Kiss. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.